And welcome to the D-Event Center, the side of the 2023 6A Boys State Basketball Tournament. The quarterfinals here on KSLSports.com. Dusty Lister, pleased to be joined by Dane Stewart and the head coach of Salt Lake Academy, Coach David Evans. He pretties up the joint, man. David comes on here, look at this. But Coach Evans, it's so good to have you with this, man.
Dude, you guys are the best guys out here. I love doing this kind of stuff. This is great to be with you guys.
It's going to be a lot of fun today, Dane. Corner Canyon, Westlake, as we know, Corner Canyon got both those games, but Westlake is a team that you don't want to play in the state tournament.
Yeah, the second game was extremely close between these two. I think a 6-point differential in that one. And, it'll be interesting. I think people think Corner probably didn't play their best game that night, but Westlake, their roster construct, they can play with Corner, but when Corner's on, there's not many that can.
Yeah, Corner's pretty good, but really, yep, already.
There's the most underrated player in the state of Utah, unless you follow our coverage, because you know that I love Max Toombs. This is a young man that yet to pick up offers to go play at the next level, and we expect him to have a big day today because as he goes, Corner goes.
Yeah, Corner's got those three really high-level players, with their guards and Brody Kozlowski. It's pretty fantastic to watch him.
Kozlowski is the headliner, but it's Max Toombs. He's the straw that stirs the drink as that ball is kicked by Toombs. As you got to see him earlier this year, that tip-off tournament at PG where he scored 46 points against that team from Maryland.
That was huge.
He broke the record for the Hoop Fest or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought after that he all said he'd have a bunch of offers from like Iona or something like that, and never came.
He's a good player. We would have loved somebody like him at BYU Hawaii when I was there.
As that ball goes out of bounds, I almost went to ask Quincy Lewis if he'd just make a call to Wagner for him.
Oh, that's a good idea.
This is Hall of Famer Quincy Lewis.
Yeah.
I want to call in a favor.
That's a good fit. Yeah.
I do think about more than just, BYU and other.
That's good.
Maybe one other school.
You should. You got to think about it. There's a lot of schools out there.
Someone next to me got me thinking about Creighton a lot as that shot is short.
Yeah.
Tracked down by Sua. And Sua sends out to Kroll.
That's the young man that's going to be critical for Westlake. Jordan Kroll, his long ball, if he can find that three-point shot, that can keep Westlake hanging around.
So back out to Kroll on the angle. On the drive. I'll probably send it to Kroll as Burdette to Kroll for three.
Yeah, he's got to hit that today. For keep them in it.
Well, we talked about this in our bracketology video, Dane. The last year it was Westlake that upset the #1 RPI team in Bingham in this exact game a year ago.
Yeah, and it's just what Coach Carling preaches, right? I mean, very good defensively. In a game like this, they got to keep Corner in the 60s. They dropped 73 on Layton and good on them. I don't know if they'll get that much today. So to me, I think that defense of Corner or of Westlake is probably going to be the most important thing that we see today.
I agree. I think Nate is a really good coach. He's been doing it a long time. His father did it a long time, and it's good to see them both still together on that bench over there.
Well, and he has he used to have one-year-old coaches. Coach Wardenberg was there forever with him.
And Coach Wardenberg, that everywhere that guy goes, he wins everywhere he goes.
As that ball is loose, picked up by Westlake, looking to extend their advantage. Miss at the rim is Maverick McManus. He did not drop the payload and get back up over the mountain on that one. Three on the way from Farrell, won't go, and the rebound claimed by Jace Adams. But Coach Carling, he took one-year-old coaches, now has one of my old coaches, and Brad Fawcett was a former high school All-American tight end at Carbon High School. As that shot won't go. Played at BYU, SUU, and I think he finished up at CEU by the time he was done.
Toombs called for the foul. This is one of the things you guys talk a lot about, Max, and obviously Brody and Jackson Roberts, the three-headed monster Corner has. I really feel like Colin Lewis, Taylor Farrell, they need big support in this tournament run because you look at that second matchup, and I think the big three each scored over 16 in it, but nobody else had more than 6.
Oh,
and it was just where's that support going to come from in a game where maybe, you've got foul trouble here, poor shooting there. Where's that support come from is, boy, early on, Kroll being aggressive.
In the state tournament, that road is so hard, and you're going to have one game where you're just going to play really poorly. And you got to find a way to grind it, and sometimes it's going to be from your bench guys. That's a good shot from Max.
That was
a tough shot.
Tough shot.
Yeah, that's a tough shot to take early in the shot clock.
I think with Max, he has like the Adam Morrison kind of shots where it hits the rim up 15 times and it still goes. As that one won't fall, goes short of the mark. The ball will go back to Corner Canyon. You know, and the thing about Callan Lewis is that Callan Lewis is one of those guys that when Corner Canyon played Vashon earlier in the year, Vashon thought, oh, he's just in the corner, and then he went baseline and dunked it on him.
Yeah.
I remember the kids looked at their coach like, did that just happen? Yeah. Like, who is this kid? And so he's someone, if you don't pay attention to, Callan Lewis can make you hurt as Brody Kozlowski goes and draws a charge.
That was a good roll. Good roll, good find.
Oh, we missed it. Intern Preston. Let him off the sabbatical. Let's get Kenzie back. Kenzie does a little better job on the replay.
Early foul on Brody. Early foul on Max.
Can Westlake ask him where it hurts and keep pushing on it? As the three on the way, lips out there for Jordan Kroll. Now on the run with Jackson Roberts. Is Brody Kozlowski hanging, sends back out to Jackson. Oh, Roberts gets in the kitchen and lays it up and in.
Sneaky little player.
Of course, his older brother he works for the National Pickleball Association. That's why we have a little kitchen bench in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Good play.
Find that ball inside. I'm moving out the basketball is Jace Adams.
That's a Nate Carling play right there. Good play. They got to get Brody going here.
Farrow now on the angle to Lewis. Goes to Max Toombs. Max goes baseline and finishes.
You know, one thing about Max is his body is so big, you know, and that's the interesting thing. I think players at the next level, you know, like if you can play, you can play.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're 6 foot, if you're 5'10", if you can play, you can play.
Try to send it ahead. They do to Toombs. Max gets inside, can't finish.
Good rebound.
Farrell with the board, sends out to Brody. Now in the corner to Toombs. Max for three, short, and the rebound cleared. And nice job, Westlake Dane. They battled through that, gave up a couple offensive board, but held on.
Yeah, and you know it's a nice job getting back and really helping extend that possession, allowing the defense to set up. But tell you, I feel like right now it's kind of Max Toombs versus Jordan Kroll, right? Like each player getting most of their offensive looks.
Adams pumped the three, pulls on the long two, won't go, and the rebound in hands of Toombs. Coach, early in the game, are you looking for offense or saying, hey guys, let's keep playing solid D as Toombs lips out the three, and then a loose ball foul going to be called on Kroll, and we'll keep the ball here with Corner Canyon. So is it more your focus early in the game? Is it, hey, we got to play better defense, or are you trying to get into a rhythm offensively?
So that's a really good question. Defensively, we're trying to be solid the whole game. And I think that this year with our group, they always competed. We played against some of the top teams in the country. Offensively, we when David, Katoa went down.
How about Jackson Roberts?
Smart play.
Turned your back on him and took him off his hip.
Yeah. Offensively, it's really important to get a little flow going. That's why I think Corner Canyon's rushed a few shots here early. But if that's what the game plan is, that's what the game plan is. Dan knows what he's doing. He's been coaching for a long, long time.
Kroll misses the three. Rebound to Kozlowski. Quickly on the run. Here comes Callum Lewis.
Nice
Euro
left.
And finishes.
Yeah, nice Euro by Callum.
Dang, Callum Lewis has got a sneaky game on him. Something about left-handers. Why is it that left-handers always have a sneaky game?
It's unorthodox a little bit. It's pretty good.
And, near steal there by Toombs. Number 2 on Max. Let's see if Coach Dan Lunt lets him play through this. What's your modus operandi on 2 fouls on your best player early on?
You betcha, right? You take him off the floor?
I never take him off the floor. You guys know me. I play like 7 guys. I remember one year at Lone Peak, I had Stephen Ashworth had 4 fouls in the first half. I said, just be smart.
Frank Jackson always had 2 fouls in the first quarter.
Oh, yeah, just let him play. Frank, yeah. Come on. They're way better players than I am, Coach, so I just figure, good steal.
Kozlowski with the steal, now on the run, give it back to Roberts. He went for the dunk, didn't get it. Kozlowski nearly tipped it in. Callum Lewis with the board and missed the putback.
So many offensive rebounds right now. That's got to be the main thing right now. They've got to get defensive rebounds. Limit them to 1 shot per possession. That's all they can allow.
The stat stuffer there for Callum Lewis. We'll take a quick break. 2:07 left in the first quarter. Chargers leading the Thunder 15-7. You're watching the 2023 6A state tournament on KSLSports.com.
It all starts with a smile. to show you care, offer a sign of love, welcome someone home. Even when we don't see each other, or share a room, even without words, smiles bring us together. Let's keep yours healthy. Stonehaven Dental. Schedule online at stonehavendental.com.
So welcome back in the D-Event Center. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart, and state championship head coach David Evans. And he was, if it wasn't for COVID, to be national coach of the year, David Evans.
I don't think so.
The Dick's Sporting Goods. You guys were rolling right along there.
We had a good group.
There's a steal getting in there with that rip. Was Isaac Neibauer. Come back the other way. Toombs short.
Tough shot.
Maybe forcing a little bit here, Dane.
Yeah.
I kind of made the comment it was Toombs versus Kroll, and I feel like Max is looking to get engaged a lot early on, but you've got a kind of a quick one and done. And are you better to spread that ball around and maybe try to get Jackson or Brody or others going to kind of get the whole group engaged?
I think a good call here along the baseline. They're going to get Neibauer with the leg. This will be team foul number 4 on the Chargers with 1:35 left in the opening frame. Game 2 of 8 on the day as Cal Lewis comes to steal.
They're hunting the basketball right now. I mean, how many steals?
Big shot, Brody. Short on the 3 and rebound taken back by Tate Merrill. There was this game a year ago against Cyprus where Brody Kozlowski saved the state tournament for Corner Canyon on the run to the 6A title game where they fell to AF. But Brody Kozlowski at that corner 3 as a freshman.
It kind of feels like Westlake looking a little bit for their offense too, like outside of Kroll. Who's that initiator for the offense for Westlake right now?
Brody quickly ahead to Callan Lewis. Lewis misses on that. Pulled the chair, did Quade Fawcett.
Whoa.
That's a rough call.
Charge.
I'm allowed to say that or not? Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can say rough call.
Hey, you can't get fined, right? Like,
and you're not here just so you can't get fined. You're here to,
I'm impartial right now,
Yeah.
too. I'm impartial. I like both these teams.
I'm actually surprised by that call. I thought it was going to be blocked all the way.
Yeah, it looked like a block.
We have a lot of officials watching us. They know my feelings on block charges
Okay,
and
sorry,
passing
officials.
crashes.
They all hate me anyways.
Hey, you've lost the suit jacket ththing,
What's that?
You're not wearing the suit jacket on the sideline as much anymore.
My kids told me you dress nicer for basketball games than you do for church. So
Kozlowski knocks down the 3.
big shot. That's a good play.
Yeah.
But the jacket didn't stay on very long anyway. Why even have it on if you're going to go baseline?
I think COVID changed a lot for a lot of people.
Right. Kroll sends it back out. The
Good
3
pass.
from Jones. Got it.
Nice shot for Jones. Good pass.
A welcome 3 for Boston Jones and welcome 3 for Westlake. Come back the other way. Charge.
Yeah.
Hey, the restricted area helped him. That's number 3 on Max Toombs.
Okay, what do you guys do?
I'd pull him
I'd
now.
pull him.
First quarter.
You leave him in, Coach?
No, I'd pull him out for a little bit and then
Give him a 16-second break?
He's back at the 6-minute mark in the second quarter.
Well, and this is where that's why I'm like, hey, I would love to get Roberts going and Brody going because I can take Max off the floor, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we'll go real quick here, 13 seconds left in the quarter. We had the same thing in their first game against Skyridge. He had 4 fouls at the beginning of the third quarter. As Jackson Roberts with the steal, 5 seconds left, Roberts with the dunk. And that is probably and will be the way that the first quarter will end. The defense from Corner Canyon leading the way as it's Corner Canyon 20, Westlake 10. As we go to the second quarter, you're watching the 2023 6A quarterfinals on KSLSports.com, your home for online championships. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this. So welcome back into the D-Event Center. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart, and Coach David Evans with you as we get to the start of the second quarter as
nice.
Sua drives and hits. Beautiful take and make by Sua.
Sophomore?
Yes.
Yeah, I really like him. He's going to be a stud.
I remember watching him when he was a younger kid. He's a good player.
So Kozlowski sends up top to Roberts. Roberts right back down the lane. And I tell you, he's a kid that does not win the eyeball test off the bus, coach, but as soon as he's on the floor, got to find number 3.
You got to find him. He can shoot it. He gets to the rim well. He's just a good all-around player, and he's progressed so much in the last several years.
And we've seen he wears PF Flyers too. So
it's a left-hander's life right now. As Roberts with the 4 points and then the block from Callum Lewis. As Kozlowski holds up top, goes back to Jackson Roberts. Jackson down the lane, right hand. Oh, what a take and make.
Man.
It was funny at that holiday hoop fest at Lehigh. We had some friends from Texas, and they all looked at me and said, "Three's a dog."
He's a dog. He is a dog.
He ate Vashon up and Beaumont United on that weekend as the 3 from Sua back rimmed, and Roberts with the rebound.
Right now,
it's travel.
This is, there's a lot of really good players in Utah, and nationally it's getting so much more well known as kids that are smart players, super skilled, can really shoot the ball. Like, we have to guard differently when we play out of state and when we play in state.
Well, and what's awesome to see a lot of these players and one of your former ones. How about, like Stephen Ashworth, right? So, he goes to Utah State, and then he becomes one of the country's best field goal percentage shooters. Just broke the mark, Mountain West record, most consecutive free throws. It's awesome to see these young men go to the next level, and even if it's an opportunity like Utah State, but really shine.
Well, you guys, I know we're supposed to be calling this game here, but when we talk about Stephen Ashworth, he's like one of my all-time favorites.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, so Stephen, when I was at Lone Peak, I had this class that I taught called Study Hall or something. Oh, big
3
shot.
for Brody Kozlowski.
And I used that period to call college coaches for our players. I called every Division I school in the country for Stephen Ashworth, and he got one offer, Utah State. And him and Chantry Ross were such high-level guys. I don't think that people understand how good they were.
Yeah. Well, they know him as Stephen Splashworth. You missed his last name. You missed that.
I think that's a little weird. But
so
3 all the way back rimmed, and the rebound taken by Westlake.
So that's a great story, Coach. But my favorite aspect was there was a class I was supposed to be teaching. It was like study hall or something. I don't know.
I don't remember what they called it.
Lone Peak let him do whatever he wanted to do. 3 on the way. Oh, man, just crawled off the front of the iron. Nearly got a magical bounce there.
3 good looks there for Westlake.
Yeah.
Couldn't find the bottom of the net.
Usually kind of a shooting performance, I don't want to say bad one, but usually we see this in the University of Utah or the E Center back in the day. Usually here at the D Event Center, the 3-ball usually falls a little more
Utah's
frequently.
a little bit harder to shoot, isn't it?
Right. Well, maybe Lilies are now with the curtains drawn on the lower bowl.
We talk about playing at these. What's it like coaching at these facilities? Is it different?
I don't think so. I mean, I think for the boys it is. For a coach, you're just kind of dialed in on what you're doing. But I think my first year at Lone Peak, we couldn't hit a shot at all when we played at the U, and then we ended up. Let's see.
Here at the state championship game.
When we lost to Bingham in this state championship game, and that locker room over there, I was like a heartache. But then
the shot clock violation.
Then winning at the U the following year was incredible. Yeah, incredible. It's an incredible feeling.
They shot way better then.
Yeah.
He also had some guards that did pretty well, too.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Is like, at that point, you're just like, hey, you got to just go. You got to play.
Well, it's interesting because we've done a lot of games here at Weber State. It's always been part of the rotation, even when it was Weber State in the East Center back in the day, and now Maverick Center. And everyone just begged to play here instead of the East Center. As the 3 from Sua, no. Rebound taken by Farrow. Now on the run with Neibauer.
Oh, get that ball up the court.
Neibauer leaves it for Kozlowski. Rims out, and surprise, no foul on the rebound, and that ball's tipped out, taken by Maverick McManus. The longest tip out in basketball, and the charge, they've already set that up as McManus going to get the charge as Kozlowski got in there. And again, it's not about movement, Dane. It's about are you defending that spot on the floor?
Well, and for me, some of it is that's a play where you are intent on making contact, right? And I think that's probably 99% of the time going the other way.
And he was outside the restricted area.
What we're trying to do with our guards, and McManus is a big, but is we're trying to get them always to play up 2 feet in the key to be under control and to jump stop. When I was at Wasatch, we had Pop, incredible guard, and we had to over and over, hey, 2 feet.
Yeah. Kozlowski showing some of the skill there. 4-star recruit, Brody Kozlowski. And been interesting this year is his rating has gone up. But this team, as we talked about before, really revolves around Max Toombs. But he said Kozlowski coming into his own here in his junior year.
I think one thing about Kozlowski, like I love the kid. His main thing is he always tries to make, this is what I see, he always tries to make the right play.
Right.
You know, whatever that is. There's always a right play in basketball, and he's always trying to make that. If he sees somebody hit on the break because he's a sensational rebounder, he gets the ball up the court. He gets it to them. When he's open from three, he sticks it. But he just does a lot of those things that win games.
He's also had a mom that's beat him up his whole life.
Yeah.
Kristen was a good basketball player,
I
too.
heard she was really good. And, and his dad was a football player, right?
Yeah. Send that ball to the corner. Count Lewis. Oh, and it goes.
Yeah, just another right play. That was a right play. So
right on spot. You heard what you were saying. It was right down to him. Man, all Corner Canyon. 2:57 left in the half. We'll be back. You're watching the 6A quarterfinals on KSLSports.com. So welcome back in the Event Center. Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart, and Coach David Evans. And I want to thank Utah Jazz Camps for joining us as a sponsor. And go to UtahJazzCamps.com. Find those camps that are coming up closest to you. You'll be at schools through Utah and Idaho. And also go to the Utah Shoot 360 facility in Lehigh anytime. As loose ball picked up by Corner Canyon. Jackson Roberts leaves it for Brody Kozlowski. Brody for three.
I mean, that one's in rhythm. It's set up. You called it, Coach. Another one. There's just
another one.
money.
Like you can see his feet are ready.
Yeah.
He's just walking right into it. Good play by the point guard to get him the ball.
And Kozlowski with the block from behind.
Man, their defense is suffocating right now.
You just see the athleticism, too. They're long. Everyone talked about Pleasant Grove and how long PG was because of Garrett and Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
But I think you look collectively with Corner Canyon, such long-armed guys as Roberts fouled on the take and called it in his habitual shooting motion.
We have some contact away from the basketball. There was one right at the start of the play where a player went tumbling, and then we had a screen up here taken right in the gut. That's not fun. Can we do a little like fast minute with Dave Evans?
Yeah.
Hey, any fun pregame rituals for you? What's your pregame?
Oh man, as a coach or as a player, it was.
Let's go player first. When you're the leading scorer in the country at BYU Hawaii.
I'm a consistency person, like a consistency human being. Like I preach it to my players. Everything needs to be consistent. So by the time my career ended, when I was playing over in Europe, I think it was like 2 days before the game. I had a time when I shaved, a time when I slept, everything I ate. You guys, it was not pretty.
You're all about circadian rhythm is
yeah,
what you're about.
I really, because like one of my teammates, he said, you know, the greatest, he's like, it doesn't matter that you're a leading scorer in the country. You scored double figures every game your college and pro career. And that is, I think, a consistency thing, right? I don't, you know.
And Michael Jordan were the only ones to do that.
No, yeah, down in that, bro. That's the problem. I didn't say I guarded anybody, but I.
Well, Jordan, I mean, I know everyone wants to say he guarded. No, I'm just joking. Because remember the whole thing about Michael Jordan is that he never had a game under 10 points after a certain point.
Yeah.
He had like the longest streak of double-figure games.
Yeah. And so that puts a kind of weird pressure on you, like. And so to watch LeBron doing what he does every single year, and he just does it amazing, you know.
So now as a coach, do you have things?
I do. Yeah, I have lots of things. But
that doesn't just change because you don't have a jersey on.
Yeah, it's just you want your team to be consistent. You know, everything to be consistent. So, yeah, we even the beginning of our practices are always pretty consistent, and then we break up into other stuff.
Are you superstitious? Like you have a magical tie or something?
What is like Michael Scott say?
Little
I'm not
stitious?
superstitious.
Yeah.
I'm a little stitious.
stitious.
Yeah, I think I am. If I wear a pair of shoes and we lose, I never wear them again.
That's the thing about coaching, because I think I'm sure I coached baseball for a long time, and I would go through like whatever shirt, because I have a million helper shirts in the off season, all of our videos, my quilt behind my head.
Yeah.
Those are all my shirts when I coached, and I found the ones that won, and that's the one we stayed with, is Jackson Roberts with the steal and lay-in, and we will try to call this game. But, folks, winning is one of those things. We cheer for good games. We don't cheer for teams, and so if we talk through some plays, we apologize, but it's kind of where we're at with a 26-point spread here. Corner Canyon,
man, their defense,
just showing it.
Oh, my gosh.
I can't wait to see that stats at half. And not to rub it in, but they got to have in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 steals.
Yeah.
Got to have a good 4 or so blocks. The rebounding is one-sided.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why it's like hard.
Not sure what we can keep pointing out on here.
Right.
But Westlake does have the pieces. They can figure the ball's just they got to see the ball go through the hoop. Things could change really, really quickly. But right now the momentum is definitely Corner Canyon.
Well, you talk about LeBron, and I don't like to talk about the team in purple and gold, but a 27-point comeback the other night. So it is possible, and we've seen here. I don't want to bring up bad things for Dan Lunt, but the biggest comeback I've ever seen in state tournament history was right here on this floor, Corner Canyon versus Olympus. Matter of fact, it was the last high school basketball game for Zach Wilson. It was right here where they were up. I think it was 26 points, and Olympus came back to beat them in the semifinals.
Yeah, that was I remember that game.
2018.
Yeah.
I mean, just to put some context around
No offense,
this.
it was the best championship day ever.
Yeah.
No offense to you. It was that Bingham Peak game, and then it was Springville and Olympus in the triple overtime or something like that.
You didn't go home crying. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. It was a great memory from.
you know, that was our worst shooting performance. All right, cool. I can't even talk about it right now. But yeah, that was a rough for our top shooters. They could not make a basket. And that was here.
Yeah, it was here.
Yeah.
This is a 2010 game in the first quarter. It's been a 19-4 advantage in the second.
And it's defense, right? That's just Corner Canyon had brought Kozlowski that block there, and it's just really forcing that ball to stay on the outside and make high difficulty shots as Roberts goes.
Another offensive rebound.
Calvin Lewis back rims the 3 and the rebound.
And that's the thing. It's not like Corner has shot an amazing percentage. It's just been
way more shots.
Way more, right?
Yeah.
So that ball goes off. Corner Canyon will stay here. How fun has it been to coach at the shot clock all year long?
Come on, you guys know.
He gets a smile.
I know.
Look at that.
I do this as affirmation for me.
Like, I don't think my team shoot the ball the first open look they get. So, but it's been good to play against teams like that. You know, we have kind of like it has helped our defense
because you actually feel like there's an end to playing defense.
Yeah, but at first, you know, we'd get them down on the shot clock to like 9, and then we'd foul.
Right.
And so now we're trying to teach them, hey, it's down to 9. Please don't foul. Like, just
you've done your job.
Yeah.
You're almost there. Chandler picks up the foul. That's going to put Jordan Kroll at the line for 1-on-1 free throws.
Jordan's a good player.
Good hustle there from Coach Carling. Dress shoes and all.
I swear Nate looks like he's still like 35.
Right. No, I remember Nate Carling taking over for Jeff Gardner at Mountain View when Dane and I first started, because Coach Gardner was there for 1 year, and then he went to Brighton. Coach Carling took over. He had Taylor Russell was the leading three-point shooter in the state that year.
Peter T. Was that year?
Tui Tupo. That was the year after.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You had Evan Young. And some other guys on that team.
See if they can get a stop on this possession here. Go into the halftime with a little bit of momentum.
So Roberts can hold up top. Shot clock turned off. 15 seconds on the rolling clock here to close out the first half as Roberts forces his way, falls away, and hits.
Jeez.
No call on the contact and got the bucket.
Yeah, big time shot.
3 seconds. The heave at the horn won't go for Jace Adams. A dominant first half for Corner Canyon as we go to the locker rooms. Corner Canyon leads Westlake 41-16. You are watching the 2023 6A quarterfinals on KSLSports.com. So welcome back in the D Event Center. Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart, and the coach David Evans, and we got to play a little something. We're gonna go a little flashback game, maybe a little Wayne's World.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and play it, Dane.
Let's do the Scooby-Doo ending.
Westlake to inbound, trying to get it to a court. It's Pollard who comes up with the steal.
Is that Chad Pollard?
And couldn't finish. McCord got back to contest it. And then IU trying to call a timeout. The officials don't give it to him.
This was my call. That's a young Ashworth on the floor, but the laser on the floor at Westlake.
Madness at Westlake.
Ashworth
and
ends up going to the line, but
Nelson, as it was Doman trying to attack.
Yeah, that's old school right
that's
there.
That's awesome stuff right there.
That was
that's awesome stuff.
On the steal, it was Pollard on the steal.
Yeah, Pollard on the steal. You got Stephen Ashworth out there.
Ashworth was there.
You got Talmadge Gunther, who's playing football. You know, I saw Chad Pollard the other day, and that kid is so brilliant. I don't know if you guys know that part about him, but he's making huge headways with Alzheimer's, and I mean, like revolutionary stuff. And just, it didn't surprise me at all because the kid is so brilliant. Yeah. Pretty fantastic. That's a fun group, and it's neat to see where they all ended up. You know,
well, it's just crazy when you get, as you've been coaching long enough now, that you see where all these guys go, and where it goes in life. We had a kid that we covered at Judge Memorial, Noel Hollingsworth.
Oh yeah.
And Noel Hollingsworth runs an algorithm company that now NBA teams are using, like the Golden State Warriors uses algorithm for statistics and stuff. I mean,
fantastic.
This is crazy to see where some of these guys go. And you talk about Pollard. Of course, all we kept talking about is that he was related to Scott Pollard.
Yeah, Scott. Yeah.
You know, and how fun that was.
And it's you know, it's so funny because it's so long ago that I coached those boys at Lone Peak, and Jackson, his little brother. You know, and Jackson is at Slick, but it's because he served a mission. So it's like there's been a lot of time that's passed, and he signed a Division I scholarship to Queens University in North Carolina. But you know, I was in the airport with my RSL team, and Frankie shows up. I see Frank Jackson there, and he gives me the biggest hug, and he's been super supportive and great ever since I got to coach him.
So halftime stats, this is crazy, right? Let's talk about a couple of these things. Points in the paint, 24-6 for Corner. Offensive points off turnovers, 11-0 in favor of Corner Canyon. Fast break points, 10-0 in favor of Corner Canyon. 8 turnovers for Westlake, 5 steals for Corner Canyon.
Callan has 7 boards. I mean, that's pretty big time. 7 and 7.
Jackson Roberts a poor 7 of 9 from the floor. So we really need to up that shooting percentage for Jackson.
And only 1 dunk. I mean, that's the other. That's
he
the other
had
issue.
He had what would have been the dunk of the night, but it rattled out on him. So
yeah, we didn't close on that. But Dusty Lister,
he's like that Energizer Bunny, man. That kid just goes. He just never looks like he gets tired. Just works really hard.
So now you have a lead like this as a coach. I mean, this is where we're at right now. When you come back out and say, hey, guys, you have a 35-second deal. Corner's up by 35 points at the end of the third quarter. It's a continuously running clock through the entire fourth quarter. Is that your focus, or do you not worry about stuff like that?
Like if you played for me, like the players would hear this often. Let's step on their throat right now, and like you got it, because basketball, anything can happen. If they go down and they get 3 stops in a row and they hit 3 threes in a row on this other end, you know, especially in Utah, things can change so fast. I mean, I don't even like a 20-point game isn't that big of a game.
Right.
What is this? 25. This is 25, and it could change really quickly. I mean, we've all seen games or been part of games that were able to, you know, overcome deficits like this.
Dan Lunt would never talk about that game against Olympus. That to me,
that's probably what he's thinking about right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice find. Jackson
like
just got that to Callan Lewis who couldn't get it. Yep. And quickly on the push now with Westlake, Coach Carling's team. We know they're not going to back off. Can they shoot a little better here to give themselves a chance? Because down 25.
What was that first half shooting percentage for them?
5 of 25 from the
they're
floor.
They're not going to shoot that bad again.
No. Progress to the mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were 2 of 14, or excuse me, that was They were 2 of 13 from beyond the arc.
This is what I thought he might end up doing, is just going inside, and maybe even if he doesn't score inside, at least they can work inside out, and get the ball moving the right way.
McManus misses there. Come
Man,
back.
that's a bad shot.
Toombs grabs number 4 right off of the top. We're 51 seconds into the third quarter. Toombs down with 4 personal fouls, and Coach Lunt said, hey, just go ahead and stay out there.
I mean, you talk about the shooting. Westlake doesn't have a player with more than 1 field goal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been, and look, credit, that is all due to corners defense. It just, they've been suffocating.
Find that ball inside
Travel.
McManus. Yeah, driving violation. We'll go back the other way. In fact, they didn't mention the first. The officials for this game, Matt Basham, Maurice Roberts, and Brad Greenland. I don't know if I'm supposed to H. Maurice Roberts.
They're doing a good job. These officials doing a real good job.
Who's your favorite official? When you walked into a gym and you saw this official, you're like, oh, I'm glad he's here. We're not going negative. That's straight positive.
That's super
positivity.
positive. I don't know if I had one of those. I felt like they all just. I even said to some officials, "Hey, like, what do you have against me? Like, what is it? Let's have it out right now." But I'm telling you, like, there's some really good officials in this state. Really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think most people know my favorites. Callan Lewis goes and lays that one in.
Good pass. Good pass by Max Toombs right there. Good finish.
And it's Courtney Littledike.
Oh, he's good. Yeah, Courtney's good. I mean, I like them all, to be honest with you.
We have another official, but he doesn't like to be named, so Agent 99 does a good job, too.
Yeah, the official who shall not be named.
Yeah. He came as a rules analysis for us, like a Mike Pereira a couple years ago, and he didn't want his name out, so we call him Agent 99. So if he never does a game.
And then we have the first official to ever reach out to us, who's still, he texted us today.
Yes, he did.
So,
the Cape Crusader himself, Mr. Kent.
Yes.
Kent Lunt.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Luntz is at the 3 in the corner for Sua, and we talked about before, it's those benchmarks. So if you're down 25, it's like, hey, guys, at what point are you trying to get to a 15-point game by a certain point? How are you trying to chop up a deficit?
I think you got to just that's tough. See, they created a tough shot for Max, but then nobody's there to box out Kozlowski, and he just finishes. Yeah, I think what I would do in this situation is take it into 4-minute segments and try to win each 4-minute segment.
Okay.
And you could break it down even to more and do 2 minutes, but I think the 4 minutes more realistic, and just keep trying to win those 4-minute segments.
So timeout on the floor there for Westlake as let's take a look at this one more time, I guess. No? All right. Dane had something queued up, so we'll back up to that.
I thought we were going to go to commercials. That's my bad.
No, I saw it was a 30-second
Tom with the
timeout.
hot
Well, if you
mic,
could get
right?
me
You
to stop
can't talk
talking,
about
I
it.
got to stop talking.
Well, I saw a 30-second timeout, so I wasn't directing where we were going to go. But Dane, we played that flashback, but the audio didn't go, so I thought maybe we were going to try to go again so you could hear Dane say, and there's a laser pointer on the floor.
It's laser on the floor. Madness at Westlake.
Somewhere we got the
Man, they were good, Westlake, that year.
They were good.
Man.
They thought they were going to get you guys that
With
year.
Fawcett.
They thought it was going to be the first
Mason,
time.
and then they had
McManus' older brother. That was a 3 in the corner.
Good for the sophomore, right? I mean, this is a senior-laden roster for Westlake, but Sua, sophomore, good to see him get some
nice
success.
pass. And Farrell fouled. I mean, that was the year that Westlake and Lehigh, remember Lehigh had that Nyberg, Blaze Neild, and it was a top 4 went, which meant Lehigh was out.
Yeah.
And that team was so good. Now, your region was so tough. I mean, as it always has been. That Southern Region 4 region has always been just a dogfight.
Yeah, I thought it was tough. I don't know about, like.
Everyone knew it was tough.
Yeah, it seemed tough to me. Every game the superstitions came out.
I think the one Vince didn't cut up, I would have told him, it's a bad memory for you, but a fun memory, when Frank scored 50 at Riverton in a loss.
We didn't lose it. Oh, I wasn't part of that. He scored.
It was Quincy's last year.
Oh, okay.
You're right. Because then it was I think I wouldn't want to bring
he scored 50 in hoop. We played in Hoop Hall, and we played in double overtime against this other player named Kobe Simmons, who played in the NBA, and he scored 50 that game, and we lost, and it was a rough day.
Who was the toughest player you ever had to coach against?
Well, this year, I don't know. We played, like when I was at Lone Peak, we played, that Montbird team that had R.J. Barrett and everybody.
Should have beat him.
Yeah, that was an amazing game.
Amazing game.
Just a game
That
for
was
basketball.
amazing. That comeback was unreal.
ESPN told me it's the highest watched high school basketball game.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Well, anyway, so this year we played Sunrise Christian, and they have this kid Mattis, he's a Lithuanian kid. I've known about him since he was young. His family's a great family.
Kozlowski with
There
his
he
fourth
goes.
three.
There he goes. Yeah, he's going to be a high-level college player, Brody Kozlowski. He's, does the right things, really skilled.
And that one's short.
But this kid Mattis, anyway, he's supposed to be the #1 pick for next year, for 2024.
2024.
So he's got a chance to play in Utah.
Yeah, he's
Depends on the pick swap.
There you go. There you go.
he's going to Ignite right out of Sunrise. He's a pretty good player. I told Trey, I was like, Trey, hey, you got to guard this kid. He's 6'10".
You got to be able to tell him. You got to share the story. You got to be able to share the story. You guarded him.
Yeah.
I mean, nice hang and Roberts,
and
and
then
then the
offensive rebounds over and over and over.
See, he needs to guard him because you have Talon Shumway who gets to live off the fact that he blocked Jalil Okafor at the rim in a game in high school.
That kid was tough. Yeah.
So you can dine off that stuff for a while. What about in-state players? Because you got Yoli Childs and you got
Yoli's. Well, we never played Yoli. Let me think. That's a
the
really
state championship game. I thought it was Yoli.
No, it was the next year.
Oh, that was with
Carlson.
Yeah, Brandon Carlson.
And Carlson, if you're listening to this, we're not friends. Just still. I know you're at Utah. You're doing a great job, but we're not friends. Just kidding.
Talk about an improvement for a kid. And
yeah, he was
gotten
great.
so much better.
And he's done so. And I heard he's just a great kid. He's really good. We played, Wasatch. Kobe McEwen was really good.
I loved Kobe.
Yeah,
Loved
really,
Kobe.
really special. I think the beauty of the Utah teams is there's several players. Like you're just talking about like Tanner Nygren, Blaze Neal.
Yeah.
That team didn't go to the state tournament,
Right.
and they were
in a young Marcus Straney too.
Yeah,
and
I mean Blaze is killing it at UVU. Like
he's killed BYU back-to-back
he's
years.
doing great.
Yeah.
Doing great. So it's you just want all these kids to have success. I just love it when they have success. At any school, any program, I love it.
Well, it's funny because I know later on we'll have Jackson Kohler watching about 2 games.
Jackson Kohler, man, that kid is so good.
He had his first double-double this year. Him and Marty there
together.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I said, hey, coming off his first double-double and know he was watching. There's a 3.
Big shot.
Boston Jones for 3. So this game right now at 29. Again, if it's at 35 points, start of the fourth quarter, we have a continuously running clock, only stopping for timeouts and free throws is the putback nearly there for Owen Borg, the future BYU linebacker, Owen Borgie. And the 3 in the corner, no, and the foul to Borg. Gives me a chance to mention that he's trying to go after the 100-meter relay record. I don't think he'll get there. I don't know if they got the speed. You don't have Cody Hagan running the anchor on that one. But can you believe that kid's a linebacker that is on the 4x100 relay team that holds the state record?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's no checks in basketball. That works in as a linebacker, right? Line of scrimmage. Yeah, you give one of those.
I was
it's
just
all
shucking
good.
him. I'm told to shuck him before he goes out.
Wait, so you're
Shuck
telling me that's
and
good
drop.
outside, but not inside? Okay, got it.
Well, here they go. I mean, right now, what is it? Oh, yeah,
27.
Still a lot. Sorry.
That's BYU Hawaii math.
Hey,
It's a little lower
no.
than Carbon County math for me.
I have a public school education. Everyone needs to know that.
He taught at private schools, the public school.
yeah, that's right.
Now, he only knows how to count buckets. As coming back the other way, Neubauer gets to crawl
another one.
home. He
You want to talk
straightens
about
that out.
You want to talk about sophomores? Neubauer, one of them. He's going to be a stud when it's
Yeah.
all said and done too.
There's a lot of really good sophomores in the state.
Yeah.
A lot and freshmen. A lot of good freshmen. We had one really good one this year, Junior County. He's a stud.
Junior County and Mandaquit.
Oh, Maniquit's a sophomore.
Yeah.
I mean, our starting lineup at sometimes was like a freshman, 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a senior.
Well, when I saw you at the Hoop Fest.
Yeah, that because David and JJ were both
Yeah.
injured. It was
Well, JJ got injured against Beaumont United.
That's right.
It was that 3 from Kozlowski won't go, and the rebound to Jones.
here we go.
And there's a
another
steal to Roberts. There's that
Gosh,
link.
That kid, yeah.
Roberts with the rip, come back the other way. Now
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I thought he might get off arm, but that's the James Harden foul, one of many James Harden fouls. As we'll go baseline. Yeah, you got to get guard Wesley Yates III, kid going to UW.
Yeah.
Corner Canyon got well introduced to him the next night after you guys took him to overtime because he went nuts in that game. As inbound won't go there for Kozlowski, and the board tracked
And he's
down.
on Team USA, Wesley Yates, a good player.
But he's good, and it's just fun to say Wesley Yates the third.
Yeah, that's right.
I got a little Stuart Scott was going through my head. Is miss on that one. Hey, there's a
Good
Carbon
follow.
County connection.
Good follow.
Quade Fawcett, young man that ties to my alma mater. Papa Fawcett on the bench.
All roads lead to Carbon.
There's always a way back there. Roberts.
He's
Good
really
foul.
good at getting in the lane. Like, he's really, really good at it.
As I mentioned, it's been a good run for pickleball. I mean, Pat McAfee talked about it for a whole week of shows during Super Bowl week. That all they did was play pickleball. I mentioned his brother is on the staff there.
You know, I used to call pickleball tournaments.
I was going to, and
Really?
Dane did the national
Fact.
tournament
Fact.
in Brigham
Yeah,
City.
Yeah.
Very well known, by the way, because I brought it up. I said, hey, by the way, I think it's a national tournament. He goes, Brigham City? I was like, it is well known.
Wow.
How about it?
Yeah, man.
Wait, the Nationals or a national tournament?
It was the national then.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's so much popularity right now with pickleball. People are putting it in their house, in the outside
Yeah.
courts.
It's
in
so
their
hot
houses.
right now.
It's so hot right now.
Hansel. Get in there.
Straight away, and
Good
there. Coach wheeled it in. Jordan Kroll crawls that one in. 1 minute left in the third. Outside with Kozlowski. Finds Toombs on the drive. Max muscles his way up and in.
Is that the first shot he's taken since?
Second, because he had that
Okay.
charge. Yeah,
Okay.
first one since the charge, yep. I think the biggest upset for Max Toombs is that he did not play football. I talked to Coach Kerr about it. He says it wasn't from a lack of trying to get him on the football team. There's a step back, Sua, 4-3.
Wow, that's a big shot.
Third
For
three in
Sua.
the quarter for Sua.
Yeah,
See,
he
and this
needs
is
that.
where I thought if Westlake could shoot like this, you'd have a ball game, right? But just the way the first half went, it wasn't there. And
I like
now you're
that play
digging.
that he keeps running, that 3-point, go down, set a screen, then come off the, screen the screener. And Sua's been open a couple of times, and then,
Oh, put him on skates. Farrow, 4-3.
wow.
You don't have to run offense for Farrow. He finds his way. And quickly the other way, 3 seconds. 2 at the horn. And we go to the fourth quarter, and it's Corner Canyon 63, Westlake 38. You're watching the 2023 6A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament on KSLSports.com, your home for online championships. Start of the fourth quarter, Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart, and the coach, David Evans. And glad to know that some high-level basketball people are watching the stream today. It's because you're on. They're not watching me and Dane. But Maverick McManus can't get that one to go. And the
He got good positioning there underneath the hoop, though.
little bunny Fufu's gotten away a lot today at the rim. Oh, McManus with the swat. On the leak out. Here's Kroll. I thought Farrell was going to go LeBron on him, but he let it go. Not going to give him an and one and give him some momentum, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you teach on that? Say, hey, sometimes call no joy and let him go.
I'm not sure on that one. I think they got to send Guy back on defense. They've had so many fast break layups this game.
Callan Lewis, 4-3, his second triple.
Man, he's been really good today.
And
Yeah, he's got 14.
He's just solid, solid.
it is interesting because you have the three guys, we talk about it, right? In Toombs, Kozlowski, and Roberts. But then you have Farrell and Lewis. You don't have to run anything for it. The ball ends up in their hands, and they know what to do with it.
Yeah. Both good players. I mean,
Oh.
that was good defense.
Straight away, Merrill misses on the 3, tipped out, and then taken by Chandler as he hands that ball back to Tate Bowman.
When Corner Canyon shares the ball, they're one of the best high school teams I've seen since I've been coaching in the state.
Yeah, where would you put this? Because you've seen a good run of teams, and the one team I just is a goal gets to Faro is the undefeated Olympus team. I really wanted to see them play maybe that a couple, just the 6A champ that year, I guess, was Bingham.
No, that was us. Yeah, because I remember those were
Ryland,
right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and so like I remember wanting to my players
a
wanted
plus
to.
one.
Yeah, that was interesting that off season because when they called us to come to Geico, our boys they had risen to that high,
Right.
winning the state, and so when I told them, hey guys, we got the 8th seed, we're going to Geico. There wasn't that immediate excitement. It was like, oh, we have to grind this out again, because there was 3 or 4 weeks.
Right.
And so I said, hey, take a couple weeks and then we'll get back to it. And then they were, but the first practice was so bad when they came back.
Right.
I was like, oh, geez.
Like, what did you decide to do?
Yeah, because when they called me, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. They said, hey, you're playing RJ Barrett, playing Montverde. There's 5 guys in the NBA now, basically from that team.
Statute of limitations run out.
They said, can you keep it within 30? That's what they said to me.
That's what they said?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know.
Well, the first half, they were probably like, he lied to us, right?
Well,
'cause that first half was like,
you're down by
mercy.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, because there's so much time. This is my fault, as a coach. And I kind of changed our schematics because I'm like, oh, dude, these guys are huge.
Right.
Our biggest guy is Jackson Brinkerhoff. He's 6'4". The tallest guy is, me on the,
Right.
I'm on the staff, Well, anyway, so that's a big shot.
Yeah.
Tate Merrill.
So anyway, at halftime, I said, hey, forget what I said the last couple weeks. We're just going to play Lone Peak basketball.
Right.
And then Montverde scored the first 2 points in the second half as we were down by 18. And then I called timeout. I said, you guys, listen, hey, play Lone Peak basketball. And that's when Chantry kind of kept us in at the first half. And then he was amazing the second half. And then Stephen Ashworth at 29 in the second half was incredible. It was a really great game.
Unreal. And I remember thinking, they got this.
Yeah, oh yeah. I thought that too. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
we're up with 40 seconds left.
It was the one time I've seen high school basketball trend on Twitter, and it wasn't just because of the people I was following that was local.
Yeah.
It was everybody was starting to watch it. Like, you guys got to check this out. Yeah.
This team from Utah, so interesting. But Steven's, doing those things right now, and
So awesome.
If Chantry would have decided to play too, he would have been doing
Yeah.
those same things. I mean, they're both super high skilled.
Farrell misses on the 3.
As a
Toombs
Utah
aboard.
State alum, I absolutely love watching Steven. I mean, I loved him at
But
Lone Peak.
I always make sure to bring
Dusty
this
was
up.
big on Chantry. I was big
Yeah.
on Steven. We loved that backcourt, but man, seeing him at Utah State was this is awesome.
The crazy thing about it is Steven will walk into any gym and say, he won't say it, but I know what he's thinking. I'm the best player in this gym. He walks in the gym. I'm a better shooter. I'm a better player than anybody in this gym. And that kind of confidence is what has done it for him. And now he can also just shoot the crap out of the ball.
Come back. Oh, Roberts got
pass.
around the defender and gives it off as Callan Lewis lays it in. And in high school, he delivered the best salsa possible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That was money.
Yeah. Great.
He was at the PG game as we keep slurping Stephen Ashworth. Should text him, hey, turn on the stream, man. So, as McManus goes over to Sua, drop it inside. It's taken away by Callan Lewis. Is again, this defensive corner Canyon not going to let up as Roberts gives it up to Toombs. Max off on the 3 and the rebound taken.
They're both looking a little worn right now.
Yeah.
Westlake's looking tired.
Well, I mean, in fairness to Corner, they dropped 70 points in 28 minutes. It's,
That's right.
I get it.
So outside here with Jordan Kroll. Up top, McManus. Over to Sua. Been an impressive second half for that sophomore and some well-needed experience. And we got a foul away from the ball. I think that was a little bit of, hey, get me off the floor. Maverick
On
McManus.
Maverick.
He
He's
didn't
ready.
even wait. He's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm going.
He's tired. He's playing hard, though. He's playing hard. He's a good kid.
And you got some other guys. I saw something with Tristan Inaruna, who
Yeah.
who has the best in-game dunk I have ever seen.
Jeez.
That lob,
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? That
yeah.
was behind him. He took left hand and still.
Man, Tristan, he's a special kid. Just a really great kid.
Where's he
as well.
at?
He's at Cleveland State, and he was first team all-conference this year.
Good for him.
Yeah, in the Horizon.
Horizon League, yeah. Mahdi and Jack, I mean, I think
You got a bunch, right?
yeah, I think we like my assistants maybe sit down and kind of write them all out. We have almost 50 kids playing all over Division 1 to JUCO,
How many text messages is that during football? Be a little easier where it's like Saturdays and Sundays.
It's the hard thing is when we have 60 kids in our program right now, and you got to take care of them.
Right.
But then when Mike Saunders needs a little extra love, you got to make sure you're there for all of them.
Which, how about Mike off the bench
25,
last week, huh? That was
25.
awesome.
I mean, the poor kid, he's been through hell and just trying to figure it out. And I can tell you this right now, he hasn't said one negative thing about anything. He's just been like, I got to figure it out.
Right.
And that's his maturity level has been so much higher. Yeah, I love the kid.
He was a game changer point guard.
Oh,
like
man.
his speed, just like, oh my
And he's one of the
goodness.
best on-ball defenders. Him and Chantry Ross are the two best on-ball defenders I've ever coached.
Wow.
I hope my other players aren't mad at me for saying that, but they're so fast.
This is the thing. We're both parents.
Yeah.
We don't have favorite kids. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
And it might be situational favorite kids, but I have, you have favorites.
Oh, I've had people tell me that you have favorite players. Yeah, the kids that work really hard and show up every day, and of course,
Yeah, that's true. I'm my parents' favorite broadcasting kid, so I get it.
Well, my family knows I'm the favorite
good
of my
rebound.
family. Is come back the other way up the offensive porch, still can't get it. Fawcett nearly got the stick, and it's Kozlowski clearing it.
I mean, isn't that just kind of statement of the game?
Poor Westlake just can't get it to fall. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Kozlowski is a really, really special rebounder.
Suo comes back and lays it in. And I remember talking to you when Brody was, 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah.
And I'd ask you, hey, how good is this kid? You're like, he's really good. He's going to be really good.
He's going to be, I think, because his game translates. We've seen, like these kids over the years. And Brody, because he can stick that shot. He can.
The wide channel basketball does him well there.
Yeah.
So when you say the translation, because we have guys that we'll go watch and you hear about ratings and everything else, and if someone doesn't dominate a game and they're a highly rated kid, is that 3 is good from Bodie Campbell. We'll stay here so we can get this thought from you. But when you have a kid that it might be highly rated and maybe doesn't dominate a game, how do you say, hey, that still translates? Whether instead of saying, well, is he as good as maybe AAU circuit might tell you he is? How do you help evaluate that in high school?
I can't even get into the ratings because they just don't make any sense to me. But you guys will find in my systems it's really different. Like the guys that average a lot of points in my system is like 14.
Right.
Because we always make sure everybody needs to share the ball, play the right way. So I think the most, besides Frank, I don't think I've had anybody average, JJ Mandequit this year averaged probably like 17. But that Wasatch team, that
everybody
Lone
was
Peak
15.
team was 15. Everybody, like Max Brenchley, the golfer at BYU, is scoring 15. Like, he was a great player.
He was fun. Go back and Fawcett.
Yeah,
with the bucket.
Yeah, it's just a lot of cool things, over the years with these fantastic young men. That's the main thing.
So on the drive, I know you're going to travel. Like, I guess kind of at the point, so you have a kid that maybe, well, is he that good? How do you help translate the high school game into saying, hey, that kid is as good if he's not the guy out there scoring 30 points in the game that you're wanting to see?
Well, okay, so Trey is an interesting kid for us. Trey signed at he's my own son, but it's hard because he signed at the University of Alaska, and he averages, 10, 7, and 7, and people be like, a lot of the Division Ones that came to watch him, they'll be like, oh, he doesn't score enough for us.
Right.
And I understand that. He's not a scorer. He's not a scorer. But it's interesting for me. It's like,
can he impact your team, right?
He wins games. Like, the kid knows how to win games. Same with JJ Mandequit. He's a 6'1", 6'2" Hawaiian
I love
kid.
his game, by the way.
Yeah. And so he's going to be a really great player. But, some people will say, he's – oh, that's big time.
Oh, that's going to make him so happy. The 3 there from Peyton Phillips.
Love that.
Gets a shout out on the stream, too. Phillips with the 3.
Phillips with the 3.
Oh, pardon me. I missed that one. I totally messed that up. That is Tebbs. Pardon me.
Oh, Carson
Tebbs.
Carson
They're
Tebbs.
both Carsons. They really threw me off there.
Another one.
Tebbs misses on that one.
Good
Borgie with the
offensive
board.
rebound.
Oh, off on that, and then Fawcett clears the rebound. So I apologize to the Tebbs family and to all the Corner Canyon kids watching back at school. Hopefully there is a preschool class showing this too, because my daughter Staley's at preschool at Corner Canyon. So told her dad's going to give her a shout out in the middle of the game. So But yeah, so when you have those though, how do you? I mean, I know we got the last 10 minutes. Minute 10 last out on this, and we'll finish up this game. But how do you help translate it for someone's watching? Or can you? Is it really just the eye of the beholder?
I think because college recruiting has changed so much. Like, I mean, that's the biggest thing is with this portal and no sit-out years, it has changed dramatically. And so I tell kids, like Lyman Simmons, 5-10 years ago, he's a Division I player.
Yeah.
And he's got a couple Division I interests, but he's got a ton of Division II interests. And if a Division II gets him, they're going to love him.
Yeah.
And I think he'll love his experience. So what I always tell people now, go where you're wanted. Go where you're wanted. And if you really want to go Division I, you don't have your offers, go to junior college. It's the junior colleges in this state and it's CSI. Oh, man, they're the best junior colleges in the country. Anybody would be lucky to go there.
Well, let me just make this final plea. Go where you want it. I want you at the University of Idaho. Job opened up this week, Coach. Let's make it happen, huh?
Dave and I are both plugging Coach. Hey, how about you here? But we have that kind of relationship. If you sit at the Debs, the three on the way and good for Wells Robertson. And everybody kind of getting the action. Also, what I love about the shot clock is, hey, we're going to have to shoot it. No more like, hey.
Yeah. This
last minute. You get JV kids out there finally, and they don't get to put a shot in the air.
This is great. Coach Lund getting all his guys in, be well rested for their game. It's on Thursday, right?
Yep,
yeah.
Thursday. They'll come back Thursday, and they'll take on Lone Peak.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
That's going to be – I mean, I've watched Lone Peak kind of through I always keep a special interest in them because it's in my old school. And today they've got some really good pieces.
Yes, they do.
They got some really good pieces. And they play hard, always. They've always played hard.
Send that ball to the corner as that doesn't go. And the rebound taken by Corner Canyon's number 30, Tyler Mortensen. And now with the shot clock turned off, we'll see if Mortensen and crew will try to get a shot up or if Dan Lump will call no joy. Maybe not. If you're wearing Zach Wilson's number, you got to find a pass. Three on the way. Oh, lips out there for it's Jackson Roberts. And we'll roll out this game as this will be the end of the year for the Westlake Thunder in a year that still Coach Carling and crew made it to the site as this program continues to be high. But the highest team in 6A is Corner Canyon. Dan, let's get some final thoughts from you, then player of the game, we'll get a final thought from Dave.
Statement game for Corner Canyon, right? And to me, yeah, it translates to the site. I think that's what I learned from is, hey, they are that good. For me, player of the game, I'm going to go with Jackson Roberts. I think the point guard, when Toombs kind of went to the bench, he had to take over, and he delivered. Big second quarter, great second half. I'll go Jackson Roberts, player of the game.
Coach, your thoughts on what you saw today?
Corner Canyon is good. They're good. And I've thought that all year. Them and American Fork at the beginning of the year were kind of emerged.
Right.
And American Fork's kind of had its ups and downs. And I think Corner Canyon has gotten better through the course of their region, which when you have a good team like this, sometimes it can go the other direction.
Right.
But I think their supporting cast has bought into everything. And, they realize they got a chance to do something pretty special.
Well, getting finals, Corner Canyon runs away with this one, move on to the semifinals. And we'll step aside when we come back. It'll be Cypress coming to the floor, and going to be a fun one. I know David Evans was his leading scorer in the country, and if BYU Hawaii was still a thing, Q Meza would lead the country in scoring too. But coming up next, Cypress and Syracuse for Dane Stewart, David Evans, Vincent, Bill Francis. I'm Dusty Lewis. Thanks for joining us and for watching the 2023 6A State Quarterfinals on KSLSports.com.